Bar is voted for win games. We have Felix Davis, Andy Jones, and Ryan Hutchin. Right? Station. Bar is voted for Clarence. Looked like a smooth and successful lift for Jitters. 3 red lights. Guys, I forgot to tell you, the audience is the most important people today. Make sure you cheer them on, even if they're not yours. Sometimes that height makes all the difference for the lifters. Next, we have Angie Jones all the way from Mountain View, Wyoming. After Angie, we have Ryan, Mason, and Gio all the way from Evansville. Angie currently holds all the state records in the Master 190 kilo category. So today, all she's doing, she's just pushing those records a little bit higher, making it harder for the next person to break them. Bar is voted for Angie. Is it for Angie? This is a full circle meet for Angie. Her first meet was here last year at the Green River Sports Festival. Coming up next, we have Ryan Matson. Today is Ryan's fourth meet. He holds state records in the equipped category. Today he's only competing with racks. That'll make you notice some lifters are wearing knee sleeves around their knees. This is to protect their knees as they're pushing really heavy weights. In the case of Brian, he's wearing wraps, and this is kind of a hybrid equipped category. The wraps offer even more tension than the knee sleeves and allows them to push heavier weights on the squat. He is one of two lifters today that are going to be lifting in that style. He's opening up with 160 kilos. Bar is loaded for Ryan. 3 white lights for Ryan's first attempt. Good job, Ryan. Next, we have Mason. Mason and Ryan are friends, and they've competed at this meet together before. After Mason, we have Spencer and Big Jim. Bar is loaded for Mason. Mason's our other raw with wraps lifter today. Nice and easy. Let's see what the referees say. Yeah, 3 white lights. Good job, Mason. Next, we have Gio. Gio made the drive all the way from the Casper area, Evansville. And this is the second meet. His first one was just about 9 weeks ago in May. The bug has bit him, and he's ready to compete in his next one. The bar is loaded for Gio, opening up with 170 kilos. I'm cheering for Gio. 3 white lights. Gio's high school just placed third place at nationals. Actually, the fourth place was the first place. Kelly Walton. I can't remember. They did really well. They weren't expecting it. First place at nationals, high school national. So we got a lot of strong lifters in Wyoming, and a lot of it thanks to Bart, who does a great job. Kelly Walsh High School. Coming up next, we have Spencer. After Spencer, we have Big Jim, Andrew, and Dylan to close us off on this first attempt for squat. Bar is loaded for Spencer. Spencer is lifting here today with his wife. They train together. They live together. Couples that live together stay together, right? So let's give it up for Spencer. Nice and smooth opener for Spencer. And 3 white lights. Everyone's doing great. Good job, you guys. Good, smart choices on your openers. Coming up, all the way from Glen Rock, Wyoming, head coach and founder of Glen Rock Barbell Club, Big Jim. We're delighted to have him here. He usually doesn't get this opportunity to compete because most time he's coaching lifters. He is a big promoter of strength sport in Wyoming, and he just ran a strongman event, second year running in Glen Rock. He actually has 2 lifters out there in the strongman event. And he is being coached by his very own coach, Britt, Big Britt, who also started in Glen Rock Barbell Club. His opener squat is over 400 pounds. So we're going to see some big squats today. Parts loaded for a Big Jim. Unfortunately, he skipped his commands. So go that way. Unfortunately, he missed his commands for squat. So, yeah. We are looking for a few things before the referees can give the squat command. I don't know if you've noticed the side referees lower their hand. When they lower their hand, that signals to the head referee that the lifter is ready. And we're looking for making sure that the knees are locked. And that's why there was a delay in giving Big Jim his command. His knees weren't locked yet. After that, the head referee says squat. And then when they're completed with their lift, they get a rack command. It's very important that those 2 things are followed. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but his rack uprights were in. That's because he has a wider grip. And so we want to make sure he doesn't switch his fingers when he racks the bar. So, all right. Bar is loaded for Andrew. Lock your knees. Whoa. He totally sunk that squat. No question on depth. Great opener, Andrew. Lifting out our first attempts round, all the way from Evanston, Wyoming. He started lifting at my gym, Flex Fitness. I don't know. I remember times 3 years ago where he'd be there from 2 p.m. in the afternoon to like 11 sometimes. Like, if you didn't, you should go eat something. But he's definitely one that loves the gym. For a brief period, he was coach of our 307 Strength Youth Barbell Club. And he was a great influence on our kids. We really miss him. But he's gone for school now in Utah. So he's opening up with 210 kilos in the junior category. This is Dylan's fifth meet, and he had, or has probably, the T3 90 kilo state record. So, and for the 18, 19-year-olds, He has a state record in deadlift. After Dylan, we have Whitney, Cars Loaded, Clarence, and Angie. Nice and smooth on Clarence and Dylan. The referees agree, 3 white lights. After Dylan, well, now we have Whitney. Up next, on deck, we have Clarence, Angie in the hole, and Ryan 4 out. Bar is loaded for Whitney. Second attempt. Opening us up on second attempt squats. Three white lights for Whitney on her second attempt. She's Spencer's better half, if you ask him. I'm sure. If anything, that's the right answer. Up next, we have Clarence and G, Ryan and Mason. Bar is loaded for Clarence. This is Clarence's first meet. He's here all the way from One-Sutter. Great second attempt for Clarence with three white lights. Up next, we have Andy. On deck, we have Ryan. And after Ryan, we have Mason. With this attempt, we're really close to this being her PR. First loaded for Angie. So she is going to push that state record a little bit higher today on the squat. Good lift for Angie. Coming up next, we have Ryan. On deck, we have Mason. In the hole, Giovanni, Gio, 4X Sanction. Bar is loaded for Ryan. Good effort from Ryan. Next time, and thank you to our sponsors for the timely caption. Bar is loaded for Mason. Probably getting his wraps on. Those take a little bit. Mason, you have 24 seconds to get your squat command. All right. He did skip the rack command. It's a little quick on that. But his depth was great. And it looks so good. Next, we have Gio. Mason, who just lifted, and Gio, our youngest lifters today. I want to say they're both 17. No, actually, Gio is our youngest today. He's 16 years old. Pushing some big weights at that age. Bar is noted for Gio from Strix Powerlifting Club. This is the club run by our state chair for USA Powerlifting in Wyoming, Mr. Mark Strickland, Coach Strickland. Good catch by our spotters. Hopefully, you'll get it next time. It's okay. Everybody's already got a place, at least on squats, on the table. They were very smart with their openers. Now we'll probably see a little bit few more misses, and that's okay. Up next, we have Spencer, followed by Andrew, Big Jim, and Dylan. Moving right along with the second squat attempts. Bar is loaded for Spencer. Nice and smooth attempt for Spencer. He needs to put some weight on that bar. The second attempts were inching closer to 500 kilo squat, 500-pound squats. Bar is loaded for Andrews, 205 kilos on his second attempt. And he sinks them. Unfortunately, he skipped the rack command, but he still got the lift. Just a little quick. You remember to cross like Angie does. Angie's good at her crosses. Wait for those begins. The lifters need a minimum of 2 white lights to get the lift. And that's why we have referees on each side. Bar is loaded for Big Jim. Good lift for Big Jim. It's on the board. It's always a good feeling. Once you're on the board, the meat was a little bit easier. Ooh, we're pretty close to 500 pounds now. 485. And the excitement over 500 pounds is that we currently have 3 spotters and loaders. When we have anybody go over 500, we have 5 spotters and loaders, just to make sure that the lifters are safe in case they need to be caught in their squat. We're wishing white lights to all the lifters today, so hopefully that will be the case. Bar is loaded for Dylan. After Dylan, we have Whitney, Angie, Clarence. Good lift for Dylan. Are on the third round attempt for squat. After this, we're going to take a 20-minute break. Break for the audience, break for the squatting loading crew and the referees, but not the lifters. The lifters are going to begin their warm up for bench press immediately after they're done with their squats. So, opening up the third round attempts, we have Whitney. After Whitney, we have Angie. Oh no, sorry, Gio. No, wait. Gio. Gio needs to be corrected. Score table, score table, score table, Randy Mayer. We need to mix Gio's attempt on the screen, please. Stars loaded for Whitney. Gio is wrong. That looked like a smooth lift for Whitney. Very nice. 3 white lights. She's gone 3 for 3 so far. Up next, we have Angie Jones. Thank you, score table. Clarence and Ryan. Bar is loaded for Angie. Try the spiders. Some fact about Angie. Last night when she was doing equipment check, she told me, "Oh, you can come do it tomorrow because I'm going to be here for the 5K." So she ran the 5K and then is squatting crazy weight. So good on her. I'll tell you something, powerlifters are not known for their cardio skills. So just the fact that she came to do the 5K is huge. Yep. Bar's getting ready for clearance. Bar is loaded for clearance. After clearance, we have Ryan Matson and Gio. Amazing meet so far for Claire is going 3 for 3. Definitely leaving some pounds on the bar. Could have gone heavier, but it's always a smart idea. Make sure you do that, especially in your first heat. Next, we have Ryan. After Ryan, we have Gio, Mason, and Andrew. Bar is loaded for Ryan. Let's make sure to give Ryan some love. Some good energy to make sure he gets this lift. I have to say, that looked easier than his first. Unfortunately, he skipped the commands. Next, we have Gio. Gio's also retaking his attempt from last time. After Gio, we have Mason, Andrew, and Big Jim. We're getting so close to finishing out our third attempt spot. Bar is loaded for Gio. It's on the board. It's all that matters right now. Good effort, Gio. Mason closing out his third squad. He's made the first two look really easy. After Mason, we have Andrew, Big Jim, and Dylan. And for Dylan, we are going to need 5 spotters. Bar is loaded for Mason. He needs to put some weight on that bar, coach. That looks great. Yeah. 3 for 3 on squats for Mason. That's a great day. Up next, we have Andrew. After Andrew, Big Jim, and then closing us off for squats, we have Dylan.
You're all good.
Great third attempt for Andrew, going 3 for 3 on squats today. Next, we have Big Jim. Big Jim, Dylan, and I apologize. Last but not least, closing us out for squats, Spencer. Bar is loaded for Big Jim. Five spotters to the platform. Rick's husband. You want to come? Bar is loaded for Dylan. Oh, never mind. Next one, Paul. Give him more energy, Mark. See what the referee say. Fortunately, he was a little high. It happens when we hit those big weights. Sometimes we get scary. There is one more lifter, all the way from Mountain View, lifting here with his wife. I apologize. I kind of missed him. He did a big jump there. Also closing with 501.55 pounds. Ready, Professor. Let's give us some good energy. All he needs to do is get low enough and then stand up and lock it out, following the commands. Piece of cake, right? With 500 pounds on his back. Next time. This is going to be a PR for him. He'll get it next time he steps on the platform. Thank you, squatters, for the save. All right. We are on break. Well, Us volunteers in the audience, the lifters are doing what they need to do. We'll see you in about 20 minutes for bench press. Okay, we'll change your timer, please. Bars loaded for Whitney. After Whitney, we have Angie, Clarence, Mason, and Gio. In the bench press, we have one extra command. So the lifters, this is where they miss most often. They need to pause after they unrack it, and they wait until their arms are completely locked out and motionless to get the start command. When they're motionless on their chest, they get another command, is press. And once they've locked out their arms and they are motionless again, they'll get a rack command. This is the most complicated lift, and it's not always everyone's favorite, but it's one of the most fun ones. So up next, we have Angie Jones. After Angie, we have Clarence, Mason, and Gio. Bar is loaded for Clarence, opening up his bench with 72.5 kilos on the bar. Unfortunately, he missed the start command. He was a little fast on that. So next time, listen to the commands. Up next, we have Mason opening up with 102.5 kilos. After Mason, we have Gino, Ryan, and Dylan. Bar is loaded for Mason. Just a reminder to the lifters to ask the spotter giving the lift-offs how you want your lift-off every time. So that looked like a pretty good lift for Mason, and the referees agree. 3 white light, his bench opener. For Mason, we have Gio opening up with 105 kilos. Ryan on his neck. Dylan is on deck. And Spencer in the hole. R is loaded for Gio. That went pretty fast for Gio. 3 white lights. For Ryan, opening up with 110 kilos. After Ryan, we have Dylan and Spencer. 30 seconds on the clock for Ryan to get his start command. Fortunately, that was a little heavy. He was also probably rushed in his setup, but he's going to get it next time. Once the lifter declares a weight that they want to start with, once they've attempted it, they cannot go below that number. So they have to be really smart with the numbers they choose, make sure they can accomplish them. Sometimes setup is funky, and it's a number you can hit any day in the gym, but things happen on the platform. It's like a Bermuda Triangle of things. The recommendation is usually 3 reps and you can do on a bad day. Whether you're sick, your girlfriend just dumped you, you did bad at work, something like that. So Dylan's opening up with 125 kilos. Nice and easy opener for Dylan. Like I was saying, you want to make sure you can do it on a bad day, just because nerves hit you different up there in the platform, and that helps you secure your place on the table on the board. I always say the first attempt is for the referees, the second one is for your coach, and the third one is your YOLO lift, or for you, where you can go aloud. But you want to make sure you have those first two attempts ready to go. Next, we have Spencer. After Spencer, we have Andrew. Bar is loaded for Spencer. And Big Jim's going to close us off for your first round of bench press. And smooth opener for Spencer. Green white lights on an opener. We have Andrew and then Big Jim, and we're back to first round, the second attempts. Andy's going to open us up for the second round. After Angie, we have Whitney and Clarence. Sorry, slow for Andrew. Smooth opener for Andrew. This is Andrew's first meet, believe it or not. He's moving some really heavy weights. Super impressive. Bar is loaded for Big Jim, head coach of Glen Rock Barbell Club. Big Jim moved to Wyoming from the New England area and has done a lot of stuff for the strength sport community. He's a pillar of the community for sure. Nice and smooth opener for Big Jim. The referees agree with 3 white lights. Actually, I should add drug-free strength sport. Big Jim is a big supporter of drug-free strongman and powerlifting. We're going to have drug-free sports very important to USA Powerlifting. We take pride in testing 10% of our lifters at every single meet, whether it's local, state, regional, national, international. We're all for fair competition. We put drugs in the mix, it's not fair anymore. Opening up the second round of attempts for bench press, we have Angie. After Angie, we have Whitney and Clarence. And after Clarence, we have Ryan. Bar is loaded for Angie. like a pretty good lift, and it was 3 white lights for Angie. Bar is loaded. Like a textbook lift to me. Whitney got 3 white lights. Up next, we have Clarence. Out for Clarence, we have Ryan, Gio, and Mason. I apologize. I haven't been translating their attempts to counts. Sometimes lifters don't want to know what they're lifting because it kind of sticks them out. So I'll just say it in kilos. When they're successful, I'll translate to American. Does that sound good? Right. Varsho for Clarence with 75 kilos, all the way from Wamsutter, Wyoming. I've never been there, but I've seen it driving on the highway to Colorado or Laramie or Casper. Fortunately, he moved his foot. So the whole surface of the foot is remain in contact with the floor. It can slide, but he lifted it off the floor. So it's hard for the front referee to catch that, but the side referees have a really good view for that. Up next, we have Ryan Matson. Give him good energy. And Ryan's got to get super tight for his 110 kilo attempt. Take time on your setup and as tight as you can. Listen for commands. Yes, 3 white lights. It's so hard sitting on the referee on the sides because you can't really coach the lifters as they're lifting. You have to be a fair and neutral, either white lights or a red light. Smart. Bar is loaded for Geo. That's why me personally, my favorite 2 positions to work at, spotter and loaded, squatting and loading, and announcing, and even the squat table. We can switch. You want to switch? It's okay. He has one more tense. He already placed on the board for bench, so we're in good shape. We're in good shape. Mason is up next. After Mason, we have Dylan, Spencer, and Andrew. Bars loaded for Mason. Bar is loaded for Dylan with 132.5 kilos. It's got a good cheer section in the crowd. I'm a pass. Nicely done, Dylan. Next, we have Spencer, followed by Andrew, and Big Jim closing us up for the second round of bench press. Bar is loaded for Spencer. With the rack command. But he gave us a really good grind. Fortunately, that's not always what counts. Up next, we have Andrew Young with 152.5 kilos. After that, we have Big Jim. And then we're going to start our third round of attempts. Easy. 336 pounds for Andrew. 3 white lights. I'm going to do a big jump. We're going to add another red plate. for Big Jim. Big Jim moved from New Hampshire to Glen Rock, Wyoming in 2021, and since then he has done a lot for the strength community in the state. Bar is loaded for Big Jim with 177.5 kilos, being coached by Coach Brett, who started lifting last year in January and is now a dedicated power lifter and assistant coach of Glen Rock Barbell Club. Get up for next time. Next time, just get a little tighter. All right, opening up the last round of bench press, we have Angie Jones. After Angie, we have Whitney Clarence and Gio. At least you played. Bar is loaded for Angie. This is going to be a meet PR for Angie. Pushing the state record a little bit higher. So good at her next meet, I'm sure. Good try, good try. Up next, we have Whitney. On deck, we have Clarence, in the hole Geo, and 4 out Brian Matson. Bar is loaded for Whitney. That'll happen next time. This would be matching her gym PR. Clarence with 75 kilos. Good lift for clearance. Bar is loaded for Geo. Closing his bench with 110 kilos. Get super tight. Listen for commands. You'll get it next time. This is only his second meet. There's a lot of room to grow as a powerlifter when it's the second meet. Ryan Matson is up next. After Ryan, we have Mason. Then Spencer and Dylan for out. Bar is loaded for Ryan. He'll come next time. His one successful attempt on bench, so he's on the board. Mason is our next lifter. Then we have Spencer on deck, Dylan in the hole, and Andrew for out. Bar, it's loaded for Mason. It's a great grind. Unfortunately for Mason, he got excited and he missed his recommend. Maybe the butt came up a little bit too, but it's happened to all of us. Fortunately. We're down to the last four lifters before we go on record deadlifts. Bar is loaded for Spencer. Up next, we have Dylan, then Andrew, and Big Jim. What a great grind. 3 white lights. Nicely done for Spencer. Next, we have Dylan on deck, Andrew, and Big Jim in the hole. Bar is loaded for Dylan. Making it look so easy. Next time. The bench press is super sensitive on how your bar moves sometimes. And his went a little bit too far back. People usually think of the bench press, we press up when you want to press back, but his just went straight rather than straight up, backing up. Andrew Young is up next with 160 kilos. And then after that, we have Big Jim. And it's time to warm up for deadlifts. Bar is loaded. You get it next time, Andrew. So far, he's had a really good meet with 5 out of 6 attempts successful. Now it's time to have fun with deadlifts. Last but certainly not least, with 3 reds on the bar, 177.5 kilos. Originally from New Hampshire, but now from Glen Rock, Wyoming. Bar is loaded for Big Jim. Get it next time. All right. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go from our break before deadlifts. It's our last break of the day. Another 20 minutes once the bar is loaded. Lifters, as you're warming up for deadlifts, if you could come with me and check your third attempt songs so I can play the right song for you. Even if I have it, just make sure that I have the right one, please. Julie. Like a great opener by Julie and the rest of the move. 55 kilos on the bar. Usually we have Whitney and then Angie. Clarence and Mason. Lawrence voted for Whitney. Jeff was for Whitney. Everyone likes. Slowed up for Angie. Angie's opening up with 125 kilos. With her pretty lavender shoes and pink chalk. Make it pink. Yeah. 3 white lights. It's all in the pink chalk and the lavender shoes for sure.
David, David, David. Oh, he knew. He knew why he did it.
Laura slowed up for Clarence. Good lift for Clarence.
Okay. One bar.
Next, we have Mason after Mason. Ryan is on deck. Geo in the hole and sprint for fourth. Bar for Mason. Mason also has a cheer crew out there. Let's hear it for the cheer crew. Come on, make it loud, make it sound. Nice and fast off the floor. 3 white lights.
It's fast.
Off the floor for Gio. 190.
All right, my next 15.
For 2,200 kilos, 441 pounds, 3 white lights. We're on the first round of deadlift attempts. To close out round, we have Andrew. Then we have Big Jim and Dylan Google.
Wow.
Bars loaded.
Bars loaded for Andrew. 4 red plates on each side. Okay, it's filled with helium. Nice and easy. Bars loaded for Big Jim, opening up with 235 kilos. 3 white lights for Big Jim. Closing our first round of deadlifts, we have Dylan Payne. with 250 kilos on the bars. That lifters are wearing long socks for this one. And in every single one of the lifts, they have to wear a t-shirt because their skin is in contact with the surface, either the bar or the bench. And for the deadlift, we don't want skin curls on top. So we ask that they wear deadlifts to cover and protect themselves also from injury.
Yeah, yeah, that's that. Yeah.
Easy. Just a note to my heavy lifters, please be careful on the way down. My TV is not happy every time you guys go heavy on the floor. And we all feel the ground shake. Julie is the newest face on the platform today. She is competing in deadlift only. And this is her first meet.
That's all right. Step in. Finish that.
Bars loaded.
Bars loaded for Julie. 80 kilos on the bar. Julie's being coached by Chris, our organizer today of the Green River Sports Festival. Coming up next, we have Whitney all the way from Mountain View, who's lifting here with her husband. This is their second meet together, and this is the third one for Whitney. Her last one was in May, and her first one was in February of this year. The bar is loaded for Whitney with 125 kilos. And the right leg for Whitney. Our next lifter is Angie. On deck, Clarence, Isabel Mason, and Ryan Four-Out. Bars loaded for Angie. With the magical pink top. That makes that bar go up. Great, yep, great start. 3 white legs for Angie. Clarence is up next with 150 kilos. After Clarence, we have Mason, Ryan, and Via.
Bars loaded.
Bar is loaded for Clarence. Nice and practice. Again, just a reminder to the lifters, please be gentle on the way down.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded for Mason. Thank you, Mason. It was a perfect landing. Unfortunately, he started to descend before he got the down command. Right, it's loaded for Ryan. Good next time. Good try from Ryan. Let's have a photo today, though. That's good. Means everyone's gonna get a medal today.
Bar is loaded.
We have Gio on his second attempt with 200 kilos. Good look for Gio. The referees agree. 200 kilos. Pushing that total even a little bit there. Our next lifter is Spencer. On deck is Andrew. In the hold is Big Jim. And 4 outs, we have Dylan Payne. Then it's our third round attempts.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded for Spencer.
Yeah.
White lights for Spencer. Gonna add another red plate to the bar. For Andrew on his second attempt, he's going for 242.5. He's more than 500 pounds. Three white lights for Andrew. Our last two lifters of this second round of deadlifts are Big Jim, here by Dylan.
Arms loaded.
Bar is loaded for Big Jim with 250 kilos on the bar. Nice and soft landing. Thank you, Big Jim. That was a beautiful, very textbook deadlift. The bar pad was textbook. So nice. All right. We're starting to get serious with these weights. Close to 600 pounds thing. For a second attempt, Dylan is doing 260 kilos. Bar is loaded. Dylan's talent is the deadlift. There we go. Easy. Good second attempt. Just be careful of the plate space for the bar. Enjoy Dan. Little known fact, but we can red light you if you are a little aggressive on your return to the floor. Not only if you let go of the bar, and we think we know red. If you're too aggressive, that can also get you red lighted. Testing lifters requested a third attempt song. So we're going to change the music a little bit. So it's nice to see what hypes up our lifters. For Julie's third attempt.
Arms loaded. Still Julie.
Three white lights for Julie going a perfect meet today. Next, from Mountain View, we have Whitney Bates, the better half of the Whitney Bates for the Bates duo. I really love this couple. They're even sharing their third attempt song, which is really cute. So that's fine. And here goes Whitney with her third attempt, 135 kilos. Nice and easy. Three white lights. Great way to finish your meet. Next, we have Angie. Angie, I'm going to steal this off from you for my third attempt. Bar is loaded for Angie. Look at the good thing for me is we got it. Three white lights for Angie. For our next lifter, but it's okay because this was a good one.
loaded.
Bar is loaded for clearance with 155 kilos. Rewind legs for clearance. It's gonna be hard to refrain from singing this song, but I know every single lyric. One of my favorite bands. Just in case you wanted to know.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded for Mason with 167.5 kilos. Got the lift 2-1, a little bit downward movement from the front referee, but it's on the board. Next up, we have Ryan. Ryan, we have Gio, Spencer, Andrew, and Victions.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded for Ryan. Yeah.
Come on.
That's okay. Next meet, going to have Sure.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded for Geo. Next time. That's right. Looking with a 500-pound deadlift, we have Spencer today.
Bar is loaded.
Bar is loaded. Good job, Mr. Next, we have Andrew with 252.5 kilos on the bar. Bar student. Very close. He did have some downward movement on the way up. He used his legs to finish his run.
Bar loaded.
Bar is loaded for Big Jim with 260 kilos. Fortunately, he got the balance and was a bit quick. Bar started to get away from him. I like that look up today. Very close to 5 plates. 5 rounds. 272.5. An American, 600.76 pounds. So let's give him a big cheer. These are big numbers. John is loaded. Fortunately, the hardest part for a sumo lifter is pulling on your floor. So, yeah, use our last point. We are all done with the lift. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming. We are going to calculate the awards. We still to do drug testing for 2 lifters, one male, one female. We should be back in about 10-15 minutes. Yeah, the result. Thank you all for watching.